No, I was under the impression, especially when we had people talking to us about it when the Premier League came to the meeting, and in particular last season. Last season when we were talking about introducing it, I was under the impression that it was going to be only used really for very clear and obvious errors where the referee has made a clear mistake. Now it seems to me that we are with a fine-tooth comb trying to work out if someone's arm is actually onside or offside, so that surprised me. I must say, every goal being analysed, where quite honestly, when the goal is scored, I'm pretty sure that there are many people like me and people who've been involved in football a long time who don't imagine there could be anything wrong, only to find out when you take the technology to the degree that we take the technology, that in actual fact, if you look closely, this player's arm is actually a centimetre or so offside. I always got the impression you couldn't score goals with your arm or your hand anyway, so I'm always a bit sceptical about someone's arm being in an offside position which disallows a goal. So I don't think at the moment that if you speak to people like myself and other managers that we're going to be wholeheartedly supportive of what we've seen so far, but we are wholeheartedly supportive, of course, of injustice being corrected, where a clear mistake has been made that unfortunately hasn't been picked up by the people. But I think in time, I'd like to think anyway, that maybe we'll have a slightly larger margin of tolerance, and that when the VAR people look themselves and they see if we flag this up, we're going to be discussing centimetres, that they'll just say to the ref, you didn't see anything, so let's get on with it. But who knows? It's a fact of life. I've seen very good answers to your questions from the Guardiolas and the Pochettinos of the world who found themselves in losing goals or getting goals that way, and they've been unbelievably sanguine about the whole affair. So there's no reason for me to be anything less than sanguine either. But if you're asking my opinion as a football lover, that's where I am at this moment in time. I thought he was excellent. Yeah, I think he's fitted in very well. I thought his performance, in particular against Wolves, was outstanding, and we don't need reminding of how good he is, because we were lucky enough to benefit from him being so good for a year and a half here before he left us. No, we played them last season. I think it was about Ulla's second or third game. They came here. They were really very, very good. At that stage, I think he'd just taken over, and the team was in fine form, and they were really flying, and they were playing just like they're playing at the moment. You're actually referring perhaps to the fact there was a tail off towards the end of the season where they dropped a few points, but I wasn't involved in games against Manchester United then. The game I was involved in, they were every bit as quick to the ball, as aggressive, as sharp in their play as I've seen them in the opening two games.
Are we ever going to see, Gary mentioned there about social media, we're never going to see Mr. Hodgson on Instagram or Snapchat with the bunny ears and the dog face and the grandkids?
Well, I don't know enough about what really goes on there. I mean, all I can understand is, of course, that when you open an account, there you are at the mercy of people who want to contact you and say things to you and about you. Now that can sometimes, I guess, be a very positive thing, but I'm also aware that it could be very negative, and I don't honestly feel that I need either of those two things, particularly in my life. And the thing that would concern me a little bit is that I remember talking to Fernando Torres at Liverpool about there, and he told me that there were about 20 Fernando Torreses out there. And that would really concern me. How do you know who you're speaking to? And as I say, you'd have to give me a complete lesson in that. But hearing that was enough to put me off, because I'd have been worried that suddenly there was a lot of people saying things in my name which had nothing to do with me, because it wasn't my account.